Yo, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy MidPokeMaster here today with my APA Academy Season 3 draft analysis. So, if you've ever watched my channel before, you know I am the commissioner of the APA Academy. APA is ran by Panther and Medicus, Elite Four Dan, and General Tar Heel. But they made a Wi-Fi D League almost a year ago, if not a little bit less, that they put me in charge of, which is pretty cool. It was originally Season 1, it was ran by me and Kurt the Buzzwole. Then Season 2 they added Diet Tide, and now it's still us three. Maybe adding a fourth commissioner soon, you never know. So, yeah, this is really big. This is like a really big deal for me. This will be my third season. Almost all my friends have either quit the league or they've been promoted to APA main, which is where I want to be. I want to be an APA main Wi-Fi. Because, you know, that's what this whole league's for. There's nothing wrong with being an APA Academy, but this whole point is to get you into a better step into APA main. So, a few of my friends from last season got promoted. Diet Tight, cool dude, New Brennan Rockruffs. We've beat him in both times in APA Academy that we battled. And then OG Albina, who I don't believe he played Season 1, but he beat us Season 2 due to me misplaying the last turn. So, it's great to see both of them in main. And then Aaron 2420 is now in APA main. He took over for Jacob as always, who was also in Academy before. So it's nice seeing that all these members of APA Academy have gone on to APA main. So yeah. So before we get into any more of my draft analysis or what my team is or what we're doing, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more draft league content, not comment. So yeah. And sorry if I sound a little hoarse this video. I'm just getting over having strep throat, so like I'm still coughing, my throat still hurts a little, but you know what? We'll get over this. We got to make the content. So also shout outs excuse me. Shout outs to Elite Four Dan for making these amazing graphics. And I can't remember who made the logo, but I think it's amazing with what we believe to be the Galarian Kanto birds. So like these graphics are amazing. So yeah, tell me these are not a big improvement compared to last season. I just think after seeing them for so long, they don't really like shock me anymore. But I'm sure people that didn't have to look for the graphics every day for like 2 weeks will still think these are amazing, and I still do. So as you can see, there are two pools, just not enough viable mons. You heard my southern accent there, viable, for 20 people to have like a balanced team. So, you know, we split into two groups of 10. Amazing coaches. We have, let me look, Shayquaza, JBWestside, PlatinumHowler, Sir Jorge De Great, me, MattOshea, Jack aka Grey, then Zach the Weathergamer, SiNxRealize, what's his name, Nibbs. Then we got GrandMaster D.Rey the Go. Then we got OddsAre, then Alex Lukewarm Missile. Then we got LanturnJoe. Then we got FlameHorizon. Then Rewt. Then Vepsis. Then Shayquaza. Then we got Zombie. And then we got Slackout. So, amazing group of people. A lot of people you've seen from last season or earlier seasons, but also a mixture of a lot of new people. So it makes this season a lot more fun. Gen 8 is a little rough at the start right now, with Nintendo ruining the basic timer, the 60-hour timer. So we'll be using LAN like WBE and APA main and other Wi-Fi leagues. So it's really exciting. It's gonna be a good time, I feel. There's a mixture between people just trying to have some fun with Gen 8 and people being ultra competitive. So I'm gonna be going ultra competitive this season because I want to get into main. That's my goal. So yeah, we got 5th pick out of 10, which is not the best, but there was enough, I believe, really great mons that were allowed. Like Melmetal was allowed, GMAX Melmetal, Kyurem, Necrozma, Zeraora. So I felt like no matter what, we were going to get a really good first round pick. So actually, let me pull up the draft board. I believe what it is what it's called. Yeah, so first mon that went overall was Dragapult, which isn't surprising. Went to Shayquaza. And then JB got Melmetal. PlatinumHowler got Necrozma. And then George got Cinderace, which was Blaze, which was kind of weird, but you do you. So I had a wide variety of Mons that were still there that I really liked. There was Kyurem. We did ban Galarian, Darmanitan, Mew, Aegislash, and like, you know, just the broken Mons. Let me go look real quick and see what was banned. Yeah, so Aegislash, DG, Darmanitan, Eternus, Kyurem Black, Kyurem White, Lunala, Mew, Mewtwo, Necrozma, Donweeks, Necrozma, Duskmane, Reshiram, Solgaleo, Zacian, Zacian Crown, Zamazenta Crown, and Zekrom. So, Mons you would expect. Even though I believe G-Darm and Aegislash should have been allowed, but that's just my opinion. So, there was a wide variety of Mons that were there that were still, I felt like were top round 1 picks. So, I went with my boy Kyurem. I can't tell you the last time I used this thing, if I ever have. This thing was normally a high tier 3, low tier 2 in Gen 7. But now it's like a top tier 1 pick with because it gained Dragon Dance, Icicle Spear, and Freeze Dry. So you can set up to +1/+1, just hit multiple Icicle Spears, click Outrage, click Dragon Claw, click Iron Head, and you'll just be able to do a wide amount of damage physically, while also getting Freeze Dry to hit waters on the other side. So you'll be using super effective Ice type damage. And this thing is just really good at what it wants. It can be sub Roost at OP Jellicent. It can also be like extremely bulky like Stolly with sub Roost Protect with Toxic. So like I think this Kyurem's like really good this gen. Like it's super offensive, it's super bulky, it fits what I want in a Mon. Because if you don't know me, I like bulky Mons that can set up, that can take a hit, get a few boost up, and just be able to win, because your opponent, there's no way for them to beat it. And without having like a lot of bullet punch users, it's really hard to beat it with priority, because it's just so naturally bulky with like base 125 HP. Great Scarf user, great, I guess it could be a good band user now. Great Specs user, great Life Orb user. It just does so many different things that it can take hits and just deal so much damage back that I think it's amazing. And that it's able to hit fairy types, which a lot of dragon types kind of struggle with, because it gets Iron Head and Flash Cannon for both sides. So I'm really liking it. So, you know, we went 6 through 10, then 10 through 6, and there was 2 Mons there that I really liked. There was Zeraora and there was GMAX Melmetal, and I was thinking, I really want Zeraora because I feel like Zeraora plus Kyurem would be amazing, because Zera doesn't want to deal with grass types, but Kyurem just destroys it, and Zera just destroys water types that if Kyurem doesn't want to run Freeze Dry, that it can't really touch. But that would have taken 180 points out of my free total, which would have just hurt, and it's not like the way I usually like to play. But GMAX Melmetal would have only taken 40 points, because it's like mega tiers where like tier 1 takes away 40 points, tier 2 takes 0, tier 3 gives you 40, and then tier 4 gives you 60. But like, you're not going to touch the tier 4 GMAX users, because it's just Eevee, Meowth, and Pikachu, which just aren't good. So I wanted a really good GMAX user, because I didn't want something that, you know, was a good Pokemon because it was GMAX, but I wanted a Mon that was already good, and it got even better with GMAX. So I got GMAX Melmetal. This is an insane Dragon and Steel core already, I believe, and it's GMAX move, which is like from the Steel side. It's basically Torment, so your opponent can't use the same move twice against you, which doesn't really sound that good. But if you think about it, most Mons can only run one coverage move to really hit you. So if they use it once, they can't use it the next turn, so you just pick up another kill. So it's like, if I have my GMAX Melmetal in against, I would say Kyurem, and they go for Earth Power, I live and I get the Torment off after the move. They couldn't use Earth Power the next turn because they'd be tormented, and they wouldn't run like Earth Power Focus Blast. So like, it's really nice in that kind of sense where they use one super effective move against you, then you have to switch out or try to kill you with another move. So I think GMAX Medal is really good. But what sucks about GMAXing in this league is that after WBE and all the people in AP main, they realized how broken Dynamax and GMAX really is. So they didn't want to ban it, but they didn't want to allow it with its full prowess. So it has to hold some sort of Pokeball. So, and it can't just be no item because then it like doesn't do good with like knockoff damage. But we can Dynamax any turn, which is really nice. And you have to run the GMAX. You can't run like Dynamax Flapple. You have to run the GMAX Flapple. So you guys know what Medal does. Even though it can't run like a choice band or anything, it's still insane because double Iron Bash, Ice Punch, Thunder Punch, High Horsepower, Super Power, so many different moves that it just does a lot. It's hard to really switch into this thing because week 1 I faced a Vaporeon and it does like 70% with a GMAX Thunder Punch. So I think this is like a really fire mon, especially paired with my Kyurem. They don't really mesh the greatest, both weak to like fighting types, but I just feel like 2 broken mons like this should not have been allowed on my team. So that's really good. So next it's round 3. I believe, I can't remember exactly what I get next, but if it's what I think it is, it's the mon that got buffed this gen. Actually, it's not what I thought it was. So I got Sylveon. Wanted to get that Fairy Dragon Steel Core early on. Sylveon's a mon I have in PTO, and I'm really enjoying it. It's not doing a lot of work, but it's not like picking up a lot of kills, but it's doing what I want. Wish, Protect, Hyper Voice, Baton Pass, and Mystical Fire, and Toxic and Heal Bell. That's what you're basically going to run every single week. I love the Choice Spec set because nothing really wants to switch into a Choice Specs Hyper Voice, and if it does, it usually doesn't want to take a Mystical Fire. So I think this mon's really good. Gives me wish support for that Medal, so like if I do my GMAX turns and it takes quite a bit of damage, I can switch shit out, wish, Baton Pass into it, and it gets so much health back. It won't get up all the way just because it has such a high HP stat, but that's coming off like a base. You'll get like 100 something HP back from the Sylveon. That's really nice for the Medal to put it back up around 50%. So I think that's really nice. It's a good team supporter. I don't believe I'll have to run offensive very often just based off my team composition, but it's a great Pokemon that I believe the wish support really helps the rest of my team, and especially with the next one I got because I needed hazard control because there's not a lot of good hazard control this gen, between a lot of it just not being in the game. So I had to get Cevallos, and I love Cevallos, man. I loved it in Gen 7, and I love that you can run any type with it, and that has base 95 across the board. It's just basically 5 base stats worse than a mythical, which I think is really nice, and that it just has so much coverage, and your opponent never can really guess what type you're going to bring unless if you have a big hole in your team, which I actually do, and I'll talk about later, or might not, so I don't have to tell my opponents my problems. Also, shoutouts to John Jr., Zombie, Zangoose, and I believe there's somebody else that helped me draft, but they all helped me a lot. I made most of these picks myself, but I would come to them for support and such. So Cevallos is really great. Multi-attack got boosted base power from I believe 90 to 120, and it gets defog again because it didn't get that pre-home. So I just think this mon's really good, especially as a tier 2. It's a great tier 2 in my opinion with the team I have. I just need to work on my speed tiers because Kyurem and Cevallos are my fastest mons, and Cevallos is not going to want to run speed often. So it just gets so much coverage. I like the parting shot support, so like parting shot into DD Kyurem with like a heavy duty boots so I don't take rocks damage, I believe is really good, and I'm super excited for it. So next one I got is Galvantula. Webs plus the speed Galvantula provides is really nice, and it helps me kill the bulky waters that nothing in my team really wants to deal with so far. So I just felt like this mod was really good, and you don't have to run webs with it every week. I didn't draft it just for webs. Webs are nice, but it'll do a nice amount of damage to water types that Hero outside of Freeze Shot doesn't want to deal with. Melmetal doesn't want to switch into them. Sylveon will switch into them, but can't do much back, and Cevallos based on the set might not be able to. So Galvantula with just those thunders because it can run compound eye, so it's 91% accurate, is I believe really nice. I keep saying that a lot, but you'll run like Thunder, Volt Switch, Bug Buzz, Energy Ball, Giga Drain, Sticky Web. That's all you'll run. It's one of the few electric types that still can touch ground types due to hidden power being gone, because it gets the Energy Ball and Giga Drain, which is something I really like. I don't like electric types that just get hard walled by ground types without hidden power, because then they can't do their job of volt switching around, being the fast electric type a lot of teams like. So Galvantula really fits his team well, because if I can get a Sticky Web up, maybe my Melmetal can outspeed like some slower offensive mons after they take, like, as I said before, Sticky Web, which would kind of fire like them like base 70s, 80s, being outsped by GMAX Melmetal. I don't know, I just think that'd be cool. So we're about halfway through this team so far, and I don't know how this one was still there. I've seen this thing go round 2, round 3 in almost every draft so far. I needed my bulky water and I wanted my bulky ground. This mon was so much better pre-home because it was one of the few mons still with toxic. It gives me, I believe, my first stealth rocker, man. And I like that it gives me a water absorb, because my team really, as I said before, doesn't deal with water types very well. And it gets a nice variety of coverage between like can be able to be physical for like Poison Jab, Liquidation, EQ, Toxic, Stealth Rock, with it also being able to be special like Scald, Earth Power, Sludge Wave, Knockoff. I know Knockoff's not special, but I just thought about that. So like, and Icy Wind, which I think is kind of cool. This mon isn't the greatest, but for like 2 or 3 plus the team that it's around, I believe it's really, really nice. And as you can see, this team's going more bulky than it probably needs to be. I fixed that up later on with a few of my other mons, but I just think Seismitoad, because she's seeing that it was still there at round 6, when as I said before, it goes late round 2, early round 3 in almost every draft I've seen so far. I just thought that was insane. The next one we got, if it's what I think it is, was extremely crazy. No, that's not what I thought it was. But Hitmonchan, I wanted more hazard support. So far I only had Cevallos, my defogger, which Cevallos doesn't want to run every week. But Hitmonchan with Rapid Spin I thought was really clean. Just being able to Rapid Spin away hazards, while also being able to be an offensive presence. Because even though it's only base 105 attack, it can still do, it has enough coverage because it's a Gen 1 mon. Plus Iron Fist that it can just do a lot of damage. Plus with Bulk Up, it's like Bulk Up, Rapid Spin, Drain Punch, Ice Punch. I don't know if I would ever run that, but it'd be kind of a cool set. While also gonna be able to take a few hits, as I said before, while do some damage back. Just because it has such a wide variety of coverage moves, and it being able to deal with ice types that my team doesn't deal with. Gives me some priority with Mach Punch and I believe Bullet Punch. Yeah, it gets Bullet Punch. Does he get anything else? I feel like it gets Sucker Punch. I don't know. And also shoutouts to Automatic for making the website we're using this season. Oh man, this thing gets so much priority. It gets Bullet Punch, Fake Out, Feint, Mach Punch, and Vacuum Wave. Which, you know, is pretty fire. I think this mon fits well in the team. It's something I've drafted a few times this gen between PCL, picked it up in GDL, PTL, and now. So I've drafted it around 4 times. So yeah, I think this mon's really nice. So next one we got was, I believe, a total steal in this draft. A tier 5 Skuntank with Defog, Memento, It's not a great mon by any means, but for tier 5 I thought that was incredible, because tier 5 was kind of rough. There weren't many great mons, and I don't know, I just don't see how that thing was still there. It gives you the grounded poison you want on every team, so your opponent can't just set up T-Spikes on you. And it gives you a dark type, so psychic types just can't run, like Reuniclus, Compact Iron Defense, Psychic. So I think this is a really nice mon, especially for the tier it's in. It gives me my 3rd hazard removal. I can't speak with Skuntank. And that's usually around the amount of hazard removal I like, is 3. Because even if it's not 3 amazing, it's still 3 that your opponent has to respect, so they can't just hazard stack you. Unless they're Wolfie Glick and they can just sit there and click spikes and stealth rocks with this Ferrothorn. So I think this mon's really great, especially for the tier it's in. So yeah, so now we have 3 free picks left. And honestly, 2 of these were my favorite mons that I've drafted. So I always have to get a psychic type, so I had to get Espeon. So I have 2 evolutions, which is fair. Sorry if you hear my dog outside, she's probably barking at some squirrels. Espeon's just great because it can hit dark types. It's fast. It's my fastest mon on my team, actually, base 110. So I think that's really neat. Base 130 special attack, which is insanely offensive. It's just unfortunate that I can't really touch steel types because it doesn't get focus blast, but between Melmetal being able to switch on those and clicking like Super Power or High Horsepower, Kyurem with Earth Power, Focus Blast, Sylveon with Mystical Fire, Seismitoad being able to Earth Power, Earthquake, Hitmonchan, just being Hitmonchan, Skuntank with Fire Blast, whatever Cevallos said I want, and Galvantula being able to, decent damage with like Thunder or Volt Switch. It makes Espeon not that bad because steel types are so pressured against my draft, just because they can beat so much, but they don't want to take that many hits. Especially with a lot of the premier steel users not being through this shit. I just think it's really nice. So we got 2 picks left. Next is kind of funny because I had one person in the entire draft that I thought would be able to take it. So I was kind of like in his DMs a few picks before, like, hey man, this mon looks good, just trying to distract him from it. So like me and John Jr. was helping me come up with like ways to DM him about, like, hey Matt, you need a dragon type, don't take this. So he ended up getting Haxorus, which was kind of funny because I was trying to persuade him off of getting this next one that fit really, really well on his team. But I got Reuniclus. This one fit perfectly on his team, and it fits perfectly on mine. I like having 2 ground types that aren't really weak to the same thing, even though I believe this thing is weak to grass, but my team isn't overly grass weak, so it's fine. But I wanted another Stealth Rocker, and it gives me T-Spikes. I believe it might get Spikes, too. Does it? Nope, it just Stealth Rock and T-Spikes, which is good enough for me. Because for some reason not a lot of people draft a grounded poison anymore. So T-Spikes are really good. Just to keep getting either 12% or just get automatic toxic on things, which is really nice. And it just being able to be a defensive pivot, and it really enjoys the wish support from Sylveon. So Sylveon's gonna be having to do the wish baton pass a lot this season into like things like Galvantula, and the Melmetal, into Cevallos, into Reuniclus, and Seismitoad. But I think it's just really good. And it gives me a really good like spin blocker, which is really nice. And yeah, it doesn't really do much. It's just a more physical Cofagrigus with like Earthquake and Shadow Claw. But yeah, I still think it's good. And then last mon, I just picked some random mon that was there. I'll probably drop it later on if I find anything better in tier 5. We got Heatmore. Really not much to say. It just beat me in GDO from John Jr. So I was like, yeah, Heatmore is decent. So it gets a decent amount of coverage between like Fire Lash, Giga Drain, Sucker Punch, and more. I don't want to keep going into it because it actually has a variety of coverage moves, but I'll probably drop this thing. and it gives me another fairy resist with my Melmetal. So yeah, that's basically it with Hitmonchan. Just didn't know what else to get. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out all the other APA Academy coaches, because you might see some of us in APA main later on. So thank you all for watching. Question of the day: on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best draft, 1 being the worst draft, how would you rate my draft? So yeah, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.